Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you could call me Grizzer, and this is the place where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it, and to those of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comments section. Now, coming up on today's show, I've been saying for weeks that there is no way Andrew Berry can screw up free agency and the draft. But to help him out, we have a list of do's and don'ts for Andrew to follow this offseason. To make his job even easier, I dug up a few more free agent options for Andrew to consider. The rage baiters and the haters, they love to say Deshaun Watson is part of the plan for quarterback in 2026, but I am convinced that he won't even be on the team. And in the viewer comments, someone thinks that one of our offensive line prospects is just flat out too slow. Oh, I mean, it's combine week. I mean, this will be the week we'll find out, right? Well, we'll find out for sure down in the viewer comments what is going on. But first things first. Andrew Berry's offseason do's and don'ts. He will address the media today out there at the Combine and talk about what the Browns are looking for at the Combine. And I've been saying for weeks, maybe even months, that the needs we have make this offseason extremely easy for Andrew Berry, because when you go to the Combine and you look at free agency, offensive line and wide receivers are abundant, especially in the draft. And I looked at the list. I mean, a lot of the guys that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, pretty much all of them, will all be at the Combine. So we are going to get a good look at each of these guys, whether it's the wide receivers we talked about or the offensive line. And when you go, I went and looked. I'm like, there's like, just from the Combine, this is who's going to be at the Combine later. You're talking like 10 tackles, 8 guards, 6 centers, like 10 wide receivers that are going to be there. Then among the free agents, there's like 10 available tackles. There's at least 4 of them that I like. 8 guards, at least half of them I like. There's the center I love is Linderbaum. You know that. You know, even if you want to replace Njoku, that's no problem. Isaiah Likely's a free agent. You go and get him. Now, defense, it's this too is something we have to consider, because that report just came out. JOK, it appears he's probably done. He's probably not coming back. So if you took Caleb Downs at 6, no one's going to fault you for that. Because if Tate's gone and Maioga's gone, if the top lineman and the top receiver are all gone, and you get to 6, take the generational player for defense. So those are just some of the things that Andrew Berry has to consider. But I put together a little do and don't list for Andrew Berry this offseason. And if he did these 3 things or didn't, whatever, I mean, he would completely ruin the offseason. But it's going to be very difficult for him to do this. Don't overcommit to expensive short-term fixes without long-term value. This is what I keep talking about with the free agents and their ages. And I get railed by some people about, oh, you think 30 is too old. But it is. I mean, from everything from quarterback to lineman and everything in between, when you get past 30, the situation the Browns are in, we are thinking long-term for everything. Everything. So unless you're Joel Bitonio and you're over 30, well, Myles Garrett too. Myles Garrett just turned 30. Like if you're one of those 2 guys, you're good. Anybody else, I'd say, I don't know, especially if you don't have a contract, or if you're a free agent looking to come here and you're 31, 32, 30, forget it. I mean, we are in a youth movement. Also, do attract talent. That's where like the Linderbaum thing comes in, or the Likely. You got to sell this place, man. We got a new coach. We got a new philosophy. All the Baltimore coaches are here. The winning pedigree. We got the best defense in the league, a better defensive coordinator now. I mean, come on, the defensive player of the year and the rookie defensive player of the year. There is a lot to sell. The new stadium is coming. You got to sell it. All the draft picks that we'll have, you got to sell it to these free agents, man, and get the ones you want and get them here. And then don't ignore defensive depth while over focusing on the offense. I mean, that is a thing to consider because, yes, as much as we want to, we're going to revamp the offensive line and add some help to a wide receiver room. You can't ignore the defense. You know, it would have been nice to hear that JOK is on his way back, but it doesn't appear to be the case. And so might want to consider finding somebody to replace JOK. You know, I mean, Mike Rutenberg is the new defensive coordinator. He may have something else in mind. He may really like Downs and say, look, if all the guys aren't there, can we get Downs and add him to this defense? You know, because even if we don't get Tate at 6 and you took a Downs, and let's say we didn't get Mauigoa, or if it's a trade back situation where they're all gone and you can trade back and still get Downs. And then, you know, like we've talked about, you could still load up on linemen and get a wide receiver. So there's plenty of them to go around. And so that's why I just think if he follows our little do's and don'ts, there is no way Andrew Berry can screw this up. This is the easiest offseason of plus. And DePodesta's gone. He doesn't have to listen to that guy anymore. He didn't listen to him last year, and he hit on almost every pick, including the undrafted free agents. Speaking of free agents, but a couple more that kind of fell out of the woodwork in the last couple of days. 2 of them from the same team. One of them is not technically a free agent just yet, and they are all linemen. Take a look at this list. I was like, the best of the rest. All right, here we go. Trey Pipkins, the third from the Chargers. He's a versatile swing lineman. He's got experience at tackle and guard. So not only can you swing him, he can play multiple positions for you. I mean, he's like one of those Swiss Army knives, which is not bad. And, I mean, the Chargers, apparently, they're going to revamp their whole offensive line. As you can see, the next guy on the list is also a Charger. They're planning to strip it down and rebuild it. But if you're looking for some depth, that's affordable and a guy who can do a lot for you. This is not a starter. This is a depth guy. 2-year deal, maybe $6 to $8 million to get him here. But then there's Brendan Austin, 7071, asked in the comments, would Mekhi Becton be a potential trade target for the Browns? And I did some digging, and the thing is, won't have to trade for him. Everything looks like the Chargers are just going to flat out cut him. That's how unhappy they are with him. They signed him to a deal, and they just weren't happy with him. And so Mekhi Becton just sit and wait. He might be on the beach, and so you don't need to trade for him. But I wouldn't. He had a rough year last year. I mean, I don't know if he had something going on, but it was not good after they signed him to that big contract. So there's somebody else you could consider to possibly bring in here for depth. And then let's get somebody from the Steelers. Let's steal one of their guys. Isaac Siamalo. Consistent veteran. He's got elite metrics. Are saying, he'd be great if Bitonio left, but I mean, we got Tev Jenkins too. But if you can't get Tev Jenkins to stay, Isaac will cost you. They're saying like a 3-year deal, 10 to 12 million. So, I mean, he's going to be in the same range as Tev Jenkins. So it'd be your choice. Like if you can get him in here. So, I mean, this is what I'm saying, folks. There are so many options, good ones that you could consider, not just starters, but for depth to completely revamp the offensive line. There's a lot of help. They're still falling out of the woodwork, man. And so I'm super excited to see where this ends up, man. Like I said, free agency will determine how the draft will go. Depending on who you target in free agency and bring in here before the draft will determine how you will attack the draft. And so if we sign a starting left tackle, that frees us up to maybe get a Downs, right? If we sign a wide receiver, if we sign a Dobbs or an Alec Pierce, to me is man, he's more wide receiver 1 than he is wide receiver 2 to me. Big target, so if you got him and missed out on Tate, you could shift your focus to maybe now. And if one of the linemen come to you at 6, now you get your lineman. Who knows? Maybe Mauigoa or Fano falls to you at 6. So whatever we do in free agency will dictate what we do in the draft. And so it's going to be fun to watch regardless. What's also fun is our new sponsor, the Ultra pouches. They're nootropics, and they're great because they're all natural, plant-based, and they come in 3 different flavors. There's cool mint, wintergreen, and tropical. And I have had them all, and they're great. And what they are, they come in these little canisters. See, ultra. And what happens is this. Let me pop this open for you. You get these little pouches, and all you do is you put the little pouch in between your cheek and your gum, and they sit there. And I'm a vegetarian. I drink almond milk. I'm everything plant-based, and these little pouches are plant-based. These are plant-based pouches with no caffeine, no nicotine, all natural. They're made up of, they've got like B6 in there, ginger, B12, like it's all natural. And what it does is a nootropic, though. What it is, it's it's a cognitive stimulant. It's an enhancer. And so what I do is after I get the show all put together, I want to cut down my caffeine. I've been trying to do it, and especially pop. I don't want to be drinking pop anymore. In Cleveland, we call it pop. I mean, some people soda pop. In Georgia, they just called it Coke. But I don't want to have to keep taking drinks of pop to try and get that little bit of a boost that I'm looking for. And so this was perfect. I take the pouch, I put it in, and literally within 5 or 10 minutes, my head clears. I always do. I put one in before the show, and I pull it out. But I could do the show. One of these days this week, I will do the show. I'll put one in during the show. I will show you, and we'll do the rest of the show with the pouch in there, because you don't even know that it's there. You don't even notice it. And so that's what I love about it. It's so easy, and it's, you're getting a clean boost. And I will tell you this, I think it's helping me sleep a little bit better, because when it clears my head a little bit, I've been sleeping so much better the last couple of weeks, man. And it's the only thing I've changed is doing the pouches. And that's one of the benefits that comes along with doing these nootropic pouches. In the all-natural way is the best way. So you get that kick, but it's completely nicotine-free. And so they've done studies on this, and 90% of the users saw significant improvements in focus levels. I can attest. Calm, steady flow state focus, enhanced memory, smooth energy, mood balance, like all of it, and it's all with 0 nicotine and natural nootropics. Nootropics are cognitive enhancers. That's what some people call them nootropics, but from what I understand, I think they're pronounced nootropics, but trusted by athletes, entertainers, and engineers all around the world. And so I wasn't sure what to expect, but it really does. You just feel like you just become so much more focused. That's why I love doing these before the show, because I put the show together and I feel run down a little bit, and you're thinking so much, and you know how you like it's just, you get to the point where you can't think. And so I pop in a pouch now 30, 45 minutes before the show, because it'll sit there for 30 minutes, for as long as you want, 30 to 60 minutes, and pull it out, no longer than 60 minutes. You could do it 2 or 3 times a day. And then you're off and running every time you feel it, especially at work. If you got meetings and things coming up, you got to do a presentation, put one in a little bit before the meeting, and get yourself refocused with the Ultra pouches, the nootropics pouches. And Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine and caffeine, which is what I don't want. And new customers can use the code FANARCH to get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com for 15% off with the code FANARCH. You see it right there on the screen. And then when you do place your order, they will ask you how you heard about the Ultra pouches. And so please, if you can, support our little show by letting them know that we sent you to takeultra.com. Thank you for supporting the sponsors of our little show. Now, talked about this at the top. Everybody keeps trying to say Deshaun Watson is going to be a part of this team. And I am still going to tell you that I think he will be gone. Did you see the latest Combine post? Did you see the post that the Browns put out yesterday to celebrate Combine Week? The first 2 pictures on the post, Myles Garrett Shedeur Sanders. Bleacher Report trying to say the Browns are in the market for a quarterback. And Jeremy Fowler a couple weeks ago saying the same thing. They're in the market for a quarterback. They're in the market for a backup quarterback. And that backup should be Tyler Huntley. I really hope it is Tyler Huntley. So will I say, yes, the Browns are in the market for a quarterback? Yeah, I would say, yeah. But they need a backup quarterback because Dylan Gabriel's undersized and left-handed. And Deshaun Watson won't be with the team. And I'm going to walk you through why I believe this. And it starts with the June 1st cuts. There's a couple of different ways for this to happen. But there's the pre-June 1st cut, which Watson won't be that. Because when you do that, all remaining prorated portions of the signing bonuses, roster bonuses, etc., from the current year and future years accelerate immediately onto the current year's salary cap. That means you take a massive salary cap hit right away. For example, if a player has $20 million left in prorated bonuses across remaining years, a pre-June 1 cut might dump all $20 million as dead money into the current cap year, severely limiting the team's flexibility. That won't happen with Deshaun Watson. He will be around until June 1st, minimum. Then there's the post-June 1st cut, which is where I think the Browns are going with him. The acceleration of future years, our prorated bonus is split. Only the current year's prorated bonus and any immediate guarantees hits the current cap as dead money. The remaining amounts from future years shift to next league year's camp. So the cap is affected next year. You split the money up. So half of it moves on to next year. So you have less of a hit in the current year. And now, I don't think this could happen, but you'll see guys get designated. The CBA allows each team to designate up to 2 players as post-June 1st cuts, but those announcements often come out in March or April. So they'll come out early, but they stay on the books until June 2nd, and then on or after June 2nd, the cap accounting shifts, the dead money splits. But there's more to it. You got to remember, the owner of the team said this about Deshaun Watson, and this is why I truly believe he will be cut after June 1st. He said, we took a big swing and a miss with Deshaun. We thought we had our quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. When the owner says you are a big swing and a miss, the chances of you being with the team are not good. And the other thing is this. He's only played in 19 games since 2021. He's only played 19 games. All for us. Out of 82 games the last 5 years, he's played in 19 out of 82 games. And add it all up, and that tells me Deshaun Watson will not be around. I think they'll take a look at him. They'll bring him into camp maybe and see how he is, see if he offers anything. Maybe as an emergency quarterback or anything. But I don't see how the owner says you were a big swing and a miss and you remain on this team. Here's the other thing. He'll be 31 in September. And I did some digging into this because everybody likes to rail on me about the after 30 years old. It even works on quarterbacks. Based on Brian Burke's foundational analysis and football perspectives study, 2 sources studied NFL quarterbacks and when they started to fade. They determined that the prime window for an NFL quarterback spans ages 26 to 30. For a select few, it lasts up to about 33. And then you got Tom Brady, who's an android. There are some exceptions. But in general, once you hit 30, diminishing skills, just like Bill Belichick said about Bernie Kosar. But he'll be 31 in September, will Deshaun Watson. And here's the other thing. What did I mention off the top? If you're over 30 and trying to get on this team, it's not going to be easy because this is all about the new stadium. We are putting together this young lineup that's going to hit its prime when we hit the brand new stadium in 2029. He is not part of the future. There is no point in keeping him here. You got to pay him either way. So what is the point? if you've already made up your mind on him, they will not keep him. He'll be nothing more than a backup or an emergency quarterback, but the fans don't want to see him. I can tell you that for sure. So the only thing left for Haslam to do is to make him a post-June 1 cut and be done with it. And that's what I think is going to happen. That's where I think we're going. When you add it all up, that is where Deshaun Watson will end up, on the beach, looking for a job, and nobody's going to sign him. A guy who's played 19 games in 5 years with 2 torn Achilles now, plus he had ACL, plus he had the shoulder thing. I mean, he's got an injury history, and he's over 30 now. Like, he's just not going to fit in this. I keep saying our best route, Shedeur starts, which we know, Tyler Huntley back up, and Dylan Gabriel can be the emergency quarterback until Kevin calls, and we can trade him too, because you can find an emergency quarterback anywhere. We can do that. I am fine with that. But there you go, rage baiters and haters. That is why Deshaun Watson is not part of this. He is not part of the future, because there's a way to get out from under this contract already, and we're moving on. When the owner says swing and a miss, that means you're a swing and a miss. What's never a swing and a miss are the viewer comments. And we'll start today with Baron Broomfield, 7704, who simply says, "Good morning, Browns fans. Excited for the Combine." All right, there you go. I mean, it is kind of fun. I do like watching the Combine. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's like springtime, right? It's like everything's new. And, you can put last year behind you. We're moving forward. That's what the Combine's all about. J Happy Little Boy, B-O-I. Could be bois if he's French. J Happy Little Boy says, KC Concepcion, that's the Texas A&M guy, in the second round is explosive, allows you to address offensive line in the first round. Yeah, that's, depending on what happens at free agency, that's a route we could go. I think Concepcion's a little too small, but that's me. But again, second round, there will be receivers there for us to take. We talked about it yesterday. It's going to be very difficult for Andrew Berry to screw this up. That's what I'm saying, because our needs are going to be whenever we're picking, one of our guys is going to be on the board, or should be. There's a really good chance. This is what we teased at the top. Howard Bates -D3K says, to me, Caden Proctor is too slow. And I say, well, maybe that's why some of these teams are talking about drafting him, even though he's a left tackle from Alabama, and turning him into a guard. So, but this is a guy that was catching screen passes. So I don't know, why Howard Bates thinks he's too slow, but we'll find out at the Combine on Sunday. He'll be running. We'll see what his 40 time is, and then we can revisit that. Teresa Hauk, HR6BP, and Gen X PDX. They both got on me. I mean, I got the Cleveland accent, and so they both said, Teresa and Jen both said, please, it's not Oregon, it's Oregon. It's Oregon. When I was talking about the player from Oregon. And Teresa moved to Oregon from Ohio, and she's a lifelong Browns fan. Loves the show, but doesn't want me to lose credibility with the entire state of Oregon, which I'm glad. Thank you so much. I was taken back that they named their sports team the Ducks. Wonder who decided that. The Oregon Ducks. And so it's Oregon. So if I ever do it, I'm going to not say it anymore. I'm going to say Oregon. 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 Gen X, is that right? Oregon. Oregon. Okay? All right. Oregon. I think we got it. Oregon. Oregon. All right. There we go. All right. MSTO 1987. I know you seem to think it's a big deal if you don't wear your quarters yet, but I can honestly tell you 99.9% of us don't give a crap what you wear. A lot of us don't give a crap what you say, let alone what you wear. But get over yourself with this quarter zip thing. It's a big deal for you, but not a big deal for anybody else. Well, actually, MSTO 1987, it is kind of a big deal for me, because this is one less thing I have to think about doing. I don't have to go, crap, what am I going to wear on the show? I already know what I'm going to wear. That's why I love wearing the orange quarter zip every day. So it does matter. It does matter to me in some respects. I mean, and so I would love to see the poll of the 99.9%. Is that true? 99.9% don't care about what I wear or what I say? That would be bad if that was true. But all I know is I prefer that. I just leave it hanging. I wash it every couple of weeks. I throw it right back on. So, and I got the orange T-shirt underneath. So it's just easier on me, MST. I got enough going on. I need to, okay? All right. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback, MST. Final Boss Official says, you have a doppelganger. I have a doppelganger now. All right. Do you have a twin? Were you separated at birth? And the person that he's talking about, I don't even know who this guy is, but he sent me a link to this video. And so this guy is supposed to look like me, but he doesn't. I don't know who this guy is, but this is who Final Boss Official thought was my doppelganger. But this is the one that I've gotten in the past. And I'll tell you what, if you find the right picture, John Goach, the Akron University men's basketball coach, definitely is a doppelganger of mine. And I'm actually calling a game in a couple of weeks at Akron, a high school state basketball championship at Akron. So hopefully I'll cross paths with Coach and we can get a picture together. That would be fun. But that who I would say a couple of people have sent me pictures of Coach. And I'm like, yeah, I can't argue with that. He's more my doppelganger than the other guy, Final Boss, in my opinion. I mean, that guy kind of looks like me. Maybe if I had the different glasses, but Coach, man, Coach is the one, the Akron basketball coach. A lot of people, and I have to agree that Coach looks like. So hopefully, I'm hoping I run into him when I do the game in a few weeks down there at the Jar Arena. Okay, we're getting into the heart of Combine Week. Coach Monken's going to talk tomorrow after we hear from Barry today. We'll go over what Barry said, and we'll look ahead to see what Monken's going to say, too. We got so much going on, and we're going to look at what other Browns players have done in the Combine. Big week for us on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Go Browns! We will see you next time.